everybody? It's your boy Da Vinci's back with another episode of Up and Coming, episode 8. I know it's been a minute, but we got KdotLA on the team today. I appreciate you coming through today. What's going on?
What's going on?
Tell us what's been going on with you. We want to know a lot about you. What have you been working on so far?
Yeah, well, the album just dropped about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of out there. I'm working on some stuff already for next year, which is crazy. And working on just rolling out the rest of the year with the album. That's important too. So visuals, just good content, constant content. It's kind of what I've been on right now. Just disciplining myself for that. But yeah, we're focused on that album, man.
So you just dropped. Is it? I listened to the album. It's Promised Land, correct? I wanted to make sure I said the name right. Did I get it wrong? I didn't say the whole name wrong. It is Promised to Happen. I was thinking of the intro. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
I was thinking of the. I was thinking of. I got the intro. I was thinking of the intro. Okay.
We're there.
Well, tell me, is this the first? I know I was on Apple Music. I seen that you got a lot of work on Apple Music, but is this your first official album or?
Yeah, so it's a long story, but to keep it brief, I've been doing music since I was 12 and full time since I was 14. I'll be 26 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I have maybe in total 15 albums. That's not including EPs or mixtapes or features or singles. That's just that. So I rebranded in 2017, and I kind of literally started completely over. I had so much music out there that it was like I'm competing with myself. So I actually just rebranded in 2017, and this is my first album as KdotLA, not as what I used to go by, Kayla Starks.
Well, let's talk about that. So, and I want to get into everything. We want to know everything about you. So tell us, how did you said you started rapping at 12, or was it earlier than that? Or tell me,
12, I started writing and recording at 12. Got my first studio set up at 12, and at 14, by the time I was 14, I put out my first album, and I had my first album release party on a penthouse downtown. It's actually in Augusta.
Okay.
Downtown. We did it really big at 14.
At 14 years old?
14, man. I'm I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I was good at it, and we actually sold out. So we had max capacity, and that's how I knew okay, I'm supposed to be doing music. But literally, I just say that it's my first album. It's better to just completely say it's my first project as KdotLA because I did rebrand.
How did you know you wanted to start making music?
That's a good question. I don't know. Do you remember my big sister Devin? I think you guys were in the same grade.
I think so. Yeah.
So she was in the journalism, mass communications.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So she used to do the little talent shows that Evans had, and I was in 7th grade when she started to do those, and I would go with her, and she would place every year, and I'm like, you know what, I'm actually kind of good at this. So I literally, because she didn't really take it too serious. She was in chorus. She's just this is an extra activity. So I talked to my parents, and they bought me my first setup, and that's when I actually started doing music, because I was like, I want to kind of pursue this, in this moment, I know I'm good, but do I like it? Is it something I can actually pursue? And so I really just I know this is corny, but I didn't choose it. It really did choose me, because I used to play basketball. I was sold. I was like, I'm going to the WNBA.
I remember that.
I was set. I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. But after a while, you do something because you're like, I think I like it, and when it becomes a thing, that's how you know you got to stick with it. Just give it a shot. Don't.
So I mean, pretty much you're 14 years in the game. I know they say it takes 5 years to do something consistently to master it, and you've been doing it for 14 years. But when did you realize I'm really good at this? This is what this is my calling. This is what I know I need to do. I don't know people, because you know how people are in Augusta. They'd be like, you need to do like be a doctor or join the military or be a teacher. And I know you're trying to follow your dream, but when did you realize that you shut all that noise out and was like, this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm really, really good at this?
That moment for me has been many moments, but I'll say, like, when I really like took music seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know. It's crazy. I'll say this. When I started writing and like for other people, when I started songwriting for other big time artists, that's how I knew that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because my music is not like, my sound isn't just for me.
Yeah.
It's for other people that have been doing this much longer than I have had much more success. So it's like that moment when I was like, I got my first opportunity to write for someone else outside of myself was like, okay, wait a minute. I think I'm on to something.
Who?
Like, this might be it.
Who?
My first placement ever was Fantasia. But she now she's doing the whole gospel thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And she just started, like, she's always been Fantasia, right? But she just kind of started a couple years ago getting into the gospel, scene now that she's in now. So I got the opportunity to a very good friend of mine. He goes by Von Cocap, and he put me on the scene with her, and I really like got locked in with her and placed my first placement ever, like first time, first try ever.
That's really interesting that you said, and then like, because like I was trying to, okay. So when I do my research, because I'm like, as a journalist, I had to do my research, and I'm trying to figure out who do you sound like? Like, I'm trying to put you in this box, and you can't do that and that's the beauty of being an artist. You can't, sometimes you can be compared and sometimes you can't be compared. And I was like, I couldn't figure you out, but your sound was definitely a bop. It wasn't like, it wasn't. I know you probably, let's say you do rep Augusta. I don't know if you do or not, but it didn't sound Augusta like. It did not. It sounded very professional. It sounded West Coast. I like, yo. So like, when you hear that, like, what goes through your mind when you hear that?
It's crazy to me because like we mentioned Augusta a lot. I mean, me and my siblings still talk about that to this day. I live in Dallas now, but I moved to Texas in 2016 from Georgia. Like, I feel like as a military kid, you spend a lot of times in different places, many times in your life, just due to like deployment. And my dad, he was in the Army. That's how we ended up in Augusta. And so I feel like being in different places kind of shape and cultivate that sound, because I've never ever tried to sound like anyone, but I knew I wanted to kind of like sound modern. You want to be with the time, but I never like had this thing where I'm like, I want to sound like so and so. How do I sound like this person? It was just like, I just literally started doing music, and I almost didn't even have time to like try and think of who I wanted to sound like. I just kind of fell into it, And so being in so many different places in my life, like just with my dad being in the military, you hear people say certain things or sound a certain way, or think, conversation is different in different areas, things hit places much differently, so like just experiencing life that way helped shape the sound that I have now. And I can't personally say I know who I sound like, because I've never like sat down and was like, I want to sound like. But like being a songwriter has also like cultivated my sound too, because you'll hear me do a country record, for someone. You might hear me do a pop song or a super trappy song or a contemporary, like just oohs and ahs. I mean, you do so much, and that kind of, I'm grateful for experiences like that, because that's my sound. Like, it comes from everywhere, So
your sound is more like a melting pot. It welcomes everybody, because you don't. Okay.
Yeah, it's very like, that's why I'm very excited now, man. I know I want you to do the interview, but I just wanted to say I'm very excited just to like be able to start releasing music as KLA, because to rebrand properly, you have to have a solid foundation. And it took me a minute to get people to recognize, like, oh, she's not Like they don't like reference back to what I used to do. Now they're like, there's relevant work out there now.
I remember Kayla Starks. Now,
Exactly.
I do remember Kayla Starks. I didn't know that you rebranded, and I just started doing this in like October, like content creating, and and you starting to like pop. So here's the funny story. I typed in Facebook Kayla Starks when I reached out to you, and you weren't Kayla Starks anymore. You're KdotLA. So I was so used to that. I was so used to that, but I was like, wait. And then so I had to type in your full name, and that's how I got to find you.
Yeah.
But I did type it. Yeah, I couldn't find it. I could not.
Like, you know.
Why did you rebrand?
That's a great question.
Before we get into the, because I know people want to listen to the music, but before we get into the music, why'd you rebrand?
I just feel like you pay attention to the world around you. For instance, Nike, Adidas. I mean, we look at different restaurant signs that we've known growing up. Mm-hmm. When they're about to release something new, or they're on a new mission, or they got whatever, a new focus, they change their brand. They might change up or switch up a few things, And so for me, I had been doing it for so long that I was doing it a certain way, mm-hmm. and I kind of wanted to get to a point where like, this is not all who I am. I'm an artist. I create. I produce every single day. I need to get into a spot where I can do that. And so I felt like I couldn't. I had so much music out. It was literally I'm competing with myself. If I wanted to stay Kayla Starks, mm-hmm. so much music out there that you would have to sift through that just to find the new stuff. And so I just felt like rebranding was the smartest idea to just start from scratch.
Okay. Well, I have a question that still goes to that, but let's get into some music.
Running up a check, yeah. When I want I get it. Counting that bread, yeah. I'm on your head, yeah. Every day is the same thing, yeah. Same dream and the same team, yeah. Shots round our room, cause I'm killing it, yeah. Round after round, yeah, I'm feeling it. Come my niggas, come my girls. It's a party for the world. You only get one life, one chance. Live it all. We only have right now, today, one love. So I'ma live my life like I know what I want. Have you had enough? Cause it's up, yeah. It's up. You only get one life, one chance. Live it all. We only have right now, today, one love.
What's the inspiration to Up? Like,
yeah.
Because I kind of felt like, now that it's my fifth time listening to it, it feels like an inspirational song. It felt like you were talking, like, what's the inspiration behind that?
Man, I'm glad you asked. So, like, I'm gonna give you a secret I haven't told anybody. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
Like I said, mm-hmm.
Okay, what's up?
Nobody know this is exclusive, man. All right, so I wrote this, believe it or not, like 2 years ago. Right?
Okay.
This was wrote 2 years ago. So this is like, and 2 years ago when I made it, I'm like, this is a hit. Like, I don't know what's gonna, like, I know this song is gonna go somewhere. Mm-hmm. So like, I never forgot the name. I never forgot it. And it actually started as, and it actually started as I was songwriting in a pack for Khalid / Justin Bieber. Okay. And I was like, Khalid can really take something like this and make it his, but I'm like, Justin Bieber could really, like, he's a mastermind. He knows how to, like, still keep it him, but, like, he just knows how to write anything. So I was like, this is going to be a good look. So this was one of the songs that we had finished. It was a different key, different beat. It was a complete different song. But as time went on, I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? Like somebody has to like this. Like, everybody's going crazy in the studio. Everybody likes this song.
It's
like,
hard.
Somebody got to pick it up. And it's a blessing in disguise. The producer basically was dragging his feet, and he was telling me and a couple other writers, like, oh, yeah, we're going to get your stuff to him, da-da-da. He missed out on the deadline of submitting everything, so nothing was taken. So we found this out through his manager because he didn't even say anything. We were just like still writing to the pack because he's telling us, oh, we still have so and so. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Let's try and knock out all these. Like, we were excited. And yeah, so we missed out on that. And I was like, well, I know for a fact that this song is not gonna just be sitting there. Like, I need to figure out what I need to do to make sure that this song is mine. Like, because I'm gonna do what I want to do with this song. So time went on. And I was like, okay, I really want to lock in on this album because this is probably the longest process I've had working on any project, just because of the story that goes behind it. But
the album or the song?
The album.
Okay.
So, we put up ended up being on the album, and it was like I tried to keep it in the original key. It was a little bit slower and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what? This is I started listening to the words, listening to the song. I'm like, this is like some motivational, like, summer vibe. Like, this needs to be somewhere. Like, somebody needs to hear this. And so I told the producer, shout out to Mr. Kane, but I told the producer that I wanted to make it, like, I wanted the West Coast vibes. I really enjoy West Coast vibes, but I wanted, like, it almost to feel like when the hook hits, like, with the trumpets, that's live. The guitar, that's live. Everything is live. Like, only thing tracked out or this digital is the drums. But everything else is, like vocal samples are original. They're my voice, like, what do you call it? Reversed.
Yeah.
They're, like, some ad-lib, like, some reverb and stuff like that on there. So, like, everything in that song, it was just so much fun to just recreate. We sped it up a couple BPM, put in a different key, and it just, like, it came together that way. So, like, Up to me, it just, when I wrote it at the time, it was just fun. All I could think of was fun.
It's a dope ass song.
I can listen to this in the morning when I get in the car. We're riding somewhere to the mall or something like that, you know, or I can listen to this about to go out. Like, it's just a positive song, man.
And I think that's what it connected with me, because it's like, it just felt like you were talking to me. It just felt very motivational. Just like, just get up and just go do it. And I can see why that song hits, because, like, you tell me the backstory, like, you have a bop. You literally have a bop for Justin. You wrote it for Khalid, and you wrote it for Justin Bieber, and the guy you're working with drags his feet, and you miss out on the opportunity. Is that not frustrating? I'm not gonna put you, like, as a journalist, I don't like to put people in boxes, so I'm gonna give you more respect than that. But does that give you, so instead of saying female rapper, I'm gonna say musician. Does that frustrate you as a female musician, that you have this vision, you know what you want to do, but then you have people that drag your feet and you miss out on some opportunities?
Because people like me submerge themselves and invest themselves in something. Like, when we get an opportunity, we are head on, like, let's do this. We're not wasting time, you know? And so when you put that much time, effort, emotion, just everything into it, and then the person kind of drags their feet, it's almost like I just got played. We just did all this work, time we can't get back. This is like, we could have done this with our own stuff or with other projects or people who are actually going to take us serious, because our job is just to create. Your job is to shop. And if you can't even do your job, we just, like, what is this? This was just a writer's camp. You know what I mean? And that's not to be funny or anything like that, but people got things that they have to do, you know? So we want to, you know, as a songwriter, in that instance, you just want to be taken just as serious as you're taking on the project, you know?
I would have been pissed. That's just me. I would have been.
I'll tell you this much. We're never probably doing anything, you know, in that we're probably never going to do anything again.
Well,
even the way it ended was just kind of like, as a songwriter, you just have to know, because I never wanted to be a songwriter. I didn't really know that was a thing that people could actually do. I just felt like it was a lot of, like, it's just who you know. It's how you get in. But really, you know, I just had a different journey into songwriting. But I would say, like, you meet people, they make these promises, they have these pictures that they took in 2013 saying they know somebody, and, you know, they promise you that they still have those connects or whatever. You have to know how to cut through the BS and know if they know what they're talking about. Bring up paperwork like split sheets and things like that. You know, talk about the business side of it, and, like, you know, can play cool or whatever, and you want to, you don't ever want to leave a sour taste in anybody's mouth, but you also don't want to waste your time. So like for me, I've had situations where I was screwed over and my work was stolen from me. Like I've had many of situations like that, but now I'm in a point where I was able to like take those experiences and situations and apply them to what I'm doing now, because Kayla's not 12 anymore. Like,
yeah, she's about to be 26.
Really
yeah.
Does. Like, this is what she really does. So,
well, because now, I mean, we're still in a pandemic, and with the pandemic has taught us has taught us a lot, and has made, a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of people, but several folks to get up and actually start doing things that they said that they wanted to do. So like, for instance, like I've been told that you need to become a streamer. You need to stream, you need to do that. And I've been, like content creating, I've been like, they've been like, you need to do that. You know how to use a camera, you know how to work that, whatever. And I finally got to it during the pandemic. And, podcasts are really big, and like podcasts has become really big. I've interviewed people and they've told me they've been making music because of the pandemic.
Wow.
What have you learned? Not because of the pandemic, but because there's so many people that's coming in and, making it, becoming social media stars, or they put a song out and boom, they've probably done it during the pandemic. You've been doing it so long. What have you learned that's helping you grow as an artist, and especially with situations like the one that you just told me with the guy dragging his feet?
Truthfully, the only thing that I could say that I've learned was just stay in your lane. Focus on you. Like, those things, people are overnight successes. Like, sometimes their journey, that's who they are. Some people might have it or get it easier than you, But what has kept me, even in something like the pandemic, was just what's for you is for you. Just stay in your lane, do what you have to do. A lot of times we focus on what everyone else is doing. We get in those ruts of like, our focus is on everything else and anyone else, that we slow our process down. Like we are our biggest enemy for real, because we want these returns, but we're not putting anything in.
We want them fast.
So we want them quick. Just whoever, the overnight successes. So like, for me, I just learned that my success is still there. It didn't go anywhere. I'm taking my steps. They're taking theirs. I'm in this game for longevity. So as much time as I'm putting in, I know it's double the return. So I'm cool on time,
Hey, Rick Ross said, I saw a post. He said, I don't care how much time it takes. I don't want to do it fast. I want to do it correctly.
I just saw that post. Yeah.
And your journey is a beautiful journey. And I saw too that you're doing the tour. Did you just finish your tour? I know you did it like, it was like the week of my birthday. You were doing the tour.
Yeah, we just did it. So that was just the Texas campaign tour. So we just did the major cities in Texas.
Talk about that tour. What was like, was this your first tour that you've ever done before? Or is this like, you've done numerous tours? Or what made this tour different than if you've done these tours before? What made this tour different?
Sure, I've done many headline tours, just off of the fact that I've been doing music for a while, and I knew if I got a no here, I wanted to do it for myself regardless. Like I was going to find a yes. But I think what made this tour much different than any other one I've ever been on or put on and hosted was, so I have a band and I've had them for like 6 years now. So we're going to our 6th year. I feel like just being surrounded by people who really rock with you as a person, not just as the artist, but like actually rock with you as a person, it makes the process easier. It was a lot less stressful. They were more hands-on than I thought that they would be. You know what I mean? So it was, the process for me was, I felt like I wasn't like doing the administration all by myself and the logistics and like they were like, okay, what you need, we got you. All right, don't worry about it. You go do that, we got this. All right, what else? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just having that where they weren't just kicking their legs like, well, I got my money. I'm in my hotel room. You know what I'm saying? People get that way. I'll see y'all at sound check. Like you had people that were like, no, like let's do this. Like that was much different for me this go around. Because they were there, they've been there for this whole process. So they've seen, like, even just the album process, what it took to actually get this thing out. They've seen everything. And it was just really cool to have that love reciprocated.
Well, I want to stay there, but let's get into another song.
Don't you waste my money, that's my time, yeah. Don't you waste my money, that's my time, yeah. Come on, come on, come on, yeah. Come on, come on, come on, yeah. Come on, come on, come on, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Only thing I speak is the narrow. Cat got your tongue, nigga, better watch your tongue. You keep coming at me sideways. I ain't like it on my way. I ain't like it all feng shui. Space it out, let me function. I trust in God, that's how I get what I got. Money running bags when I'm moving with the mob. Moving silence, we get it, all of us, yeah. Money I get, we get it, all of us, yeah. Quarterback. 16 easy with an ice glass. Iced tea, icing with that. Got that, what's next? Challenge, I see none. Coming for C, no, that's all I see, bro. I pity the panic. Never go panic, taking my chances. Fly in the clouds. Never go lose a composure. High off the ground. Never go look over shoulder. I got it now. Never go looking for later. Money to be made. I need it today.
Let's go back into the band's part because you said something that was interesting. Well, you were talking about that. You were saying the song is produced by, like, you have a live band.
Yeah, I do.
Why did you why did you decide it was just like, oh, you rubbing your hands? This is gonna be a good answer. This is gonna be a good answer. Why did you decide that was the best style for you rather than doing 808s, computer, just going live band? Because I didn't know. I knew that you had a band in the music, but I didn't know that they were like doing the majority of your songs. I didn't.
Yes.
Why did you go that route?
Oh man, first of all, this is great. I've never been asked this question before, so like I'm a
real journalist, girl. I'm gonna do this. I do this, man.
Applause. Yes. No, like seriously, I've never been asked this question before, so like I'm very excited you asked this question. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. There's a lot of things that people don't know about me, and that's just the story will come. But I'll say this. I produce. I'm the engineer, so everything that you heard digitally in any way, that was me. I also co-produced the album too, so I do that. There's so many different elements and different hats that I wear. Mm-hmm. And so when I do my music, you talk about like me being a brand. I'm not just the artist. I have a lot of different hats that I wear that make who I am and the brand that it is what it is. So with all the things that I do, it just, like I said, a songwriter, it helps me write better, or different elements. I'll say I chose a live band because when I started doing music, originally, hands down, I was a drummer. I was a musician. So like I have to get you these pictures, but like I would different groups I was a drummer for. Like I legitimately really did this thing. Mm-hmm. My dad was a percussionist, so like that's how I got into music. I just kind of did it for church and stuff like that. I never really pursued it like that, but that was like my gateway into music. Like, oh, Okay.
Okay.
So like now you can see like I really do enjoy the live aspect. Like you'll hear in songs on the album like Lie to Yourself, it has live guitar that we kind of put in. Yeah, it has live guitar. Like everything is live keys, and half the ones that you can, I don't even know. There's a live bass, mono neon. I know everybody knows mono neon. And workout. I mean, like there's a lot of live aspects. They're just done so tastefully that they kind of blend into the digital 808 feel. But for me, when I did like, to me, there's no point in an artist having a band if you're not going to intentionally pick every song apart and make it live. Like when we perform, when me and my band perform, the setup is I have a DJ.
Okay.
I have 2 keys, bass player, drummer, guitar. I have a producer on stage who's actually the digital programmer. So he does a lot of like my ad-libs and special effects and stuff like that outside of the DJ. He does that. So we still have the digital aspect, but like every single song, we have transitions, intros, outros, key changes. We have everything. We literally live arrange every single song. And so I don't know where that came from. I just felt like I wanted to show my diversity. Because a lot of times people box me in, they'll call me a hip hop artist. I don't think I'm a hip hop artist. I think I'm like urban pop, like with some funky. There's just so many different elements. As the music comes out, people will understand.
Does it make you more unique than rappers or musicians that have 808s and trap beats?
I think so, because there's just a lot that you can do. I feel like it's a lot of in between the lines with a track or just digital stuff, but when it's like can be created on the spot, you can literally do anything that you want, and that's what musicianship is. So like just to have that, I think it definitely sets me apart from a lot of rappers. So
I do like I didn't know that most of your music was done by a band. That's like okay, so you said a lot of interesting things today. So like you said that so I've known you from Augusta. I know you know Autumn.
Yep.
I know your sister. Like and I was like, she doesn't sound like she's from Evans. So you said that your sound is very universal.
Yeah.
You've been doing this since you were 12 years old. And I'm going by all this because there's people that's jumping in and they haven't been here, so I'm just running it back to them. You've been doing this since you're 12 years old. You're about to be 26.
Yeah. And
and you have a live band.
Yeah.
Does that not only does it make you unique, but is it like hard? Do y'all have like, because I know like you have the vision. Ultimately, you're the face, it's your brand. But how do you get them to like come along and be like, all right, I want it to sound like this on the guitar. I want it to sound like this on the piano, and versus like, well, no, I could do it this way. Like, how do y'all all come together and come out with some great music?
I think it's just you can't have team players that don't know how to be a good team player, and that took a lot of, because I am the quote unquote leader, if you will, of the group, and like to be able to get there, they have to like they can't automatically. I know how to do that, or it didn't sound good. Just we all try it out first. It's never a bad idea, and so like just creating with them, that also came from just doing life with them. Like, let's go get lunch. Like, it's not always about the music, So working with them, I don't have to overly explain my heart behind when I say something, or if I might say it in like I'm being a butthole. Like, they don't take it that way off rip. They're kind of like, I see what she means. Like, okay, cool. But like, I'm gonna try it out,
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna try it to see if this is what she's talking about. Vice versa for all of them, So, and that's also with the live shows. Like, our live shows are literally just they're original. Like, you'll hear the song and we'll flip the song completely one way. That will make you like want to go check out the actual record, and when you do, you're like, "What the heck? This is like 2 different songs," So, I don't know. I just it's fun working with people, being able to do that. It is challenging because it's not just I'm pushing a couple buttons.
Yeah.
And like it gets done that way. It's like actual collaborating with human beings. It's like, okay, I didn't mean it that way. This is what I meant, you know. But it definitely is. It's worth it at the end of the day because you get to do a lot of amazing different things.
Do you want to play another song?
Yeah, let's do it. You already know.
I'm too cool, I'm too kind, I'm too cautious. I'm too real, I'm too much, I'm too gorgeous. Got your daddy and your mama, pray to God, yeah. Send out my child's way, la la la, yeah. I'm too smooth, like that criminal. I'm too smooth, cocoa butter, yeah. I'm too smooth, slip right out the cracks. Smooth, break your mama back. You thought you had me wrapped around your finger. Go ahead, pull the trigger, nigga. I'm the gun, I call lot of shots. Call lot of shots.
Wrapped around your finger, go ahead, pull the trigger, nigga. I'm the gun, I call lot of shots. I call lot of shots. I call lot of shots. Nigga, I call lot of shots. Shots. Pull the trigger, nigga. I'm the gun, I call lot of shots. Shots. Shots.
I was walking my dog and I was listening. I was like, she's cool. And she's cool. And she's cool. She's cold. She's cold. I was, yo, it's just,
Wow.
the last few minutes that I want to take, what I want to do is I kind of want to do some rapid questions, and then I want to play one more song, and then we're going to end it, and then I'm a, you know, maybe do this again. So I want to know, you told me that you were, you said that you were in the, you have a music background. You play the drums.
Yes.
Okay. And you told me that your dad said, if you're going to do this for real, you need to know, you got to have a top 5.
Yeah.
So who's your top 5? Who's your top 5? Are these your like inspirations to like be KLA?
Right now? Okay.
Do they fluctuate?
They do on a daily.
Okay. Well, name me your top 5 that's like that's consistent for you.
Consistent.
That stays on your head.
First and foremost, this is definitely not a surprise. I really am a huge fan of T-Pain. I'm talking about T-Pain like old school up to now. He's still doing. He's consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with that's like my number 1.
Okay.
Out of my off rip, it's gonna be T-Pain.
Yeah.
Influence, just people who I listen to on the regular. Next I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna put y'all on if you don't know Ombre Perkins. If
don't know.
Do not, man, she songwrites for Kehlani. I mean, she's like in it. She's signed Rock Nation. You should check her out. Ombre Perkins.
Okay.
Super dope. Songwriter, artist, all that.
That's 2.
Next, I'm gonna have to go J. Cole.
Okay.
I love the J. Cole now just as much as old school J. Cole. And I can't say that about a lot of artists. They don't evolve well. So like, shout out to J. Cole holding it down still. I'm gonna have to go with. That's 3.
We're at 3.
Okay, let's go with Drake. I'm a huge Drake fan by default. I'm just a huge Drake fan. And this top 5 is definitely not going to be the same tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It'd be a DJ or something. Who do I want to put in the last spot? That's crazy.
It's always the toughest. The last spot is always the toughest.
It really is.
Because you always feel like you're leaving somebody out.
Yeah, when you get to that last spot, it's like I'm leaving somebody out.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and say I listen to so many people. Don Toliver. I'm gonna put Don Toliver in there.
Ooh, okay.
Between him and Young Thug as an artist,
Yeah.
wise, I just like how they are willing, like they want to take risks. You don't have to ask them to like switch it up. They're gonna switch it up.
Now that you said Don Toliver, I can hear that now.
Yeah.
I can hear Don Toliver.
I love Don Toliver. Now, and I'm not a critic. I love Don Toliver's sound. I love his sound. Like
I like his sound too. I don't like his bars. I like his sound.
I don't like
Yeah,
at all.
yeah. I don't like his penship, but I like his
No
sound.
shade, but one artist to another, I can't get with your pen, but I can definitely get with your sound. It's everything. You can like he could be a feature on a random song, and you gotta like go to the actual song credits to know who's on the song, and you'll know it.
Yeah,
like he's that kind of artist. So
I like his sound because I have his albums, and he's one of those artists for me. Is like I have to like really, really be in the mood to listen to him because sometimes I just can't vibe with him. But I do like his like. It's one of those. Oh, Don Toliver dropped. I listened to it for a week, and then I'm done.
Boom.
I'm done.
Yep.
It's not like I'm not gonna support him. I like him. Yeah.
Like I literally like I'll pick my favorite from him, and then that's it. But like going back to like the Donda album that just dropped, like everybody knows the Moon song.
Donda 2 or Donda 1?
1.
Okay.
It's called Moon.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
oh yeah. I had to think.
Like he's that kind of artist. He's distinctive, and that's what like we should all strive to be as an artist, a creative. I don't care if you make clothes. Like you want to strive to just be different. And when I see an art, oh my God, I'm tripping. I might have to take somebody out of my top 5 because Doja Cat, she deserves.
What? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this because I was about to ask you. You name me a lot of male artists. But is there any female artists that's like that are inspirational to you that you know?
Yeah. Okay, so we already kind of filled it too, so maybe I could take those 2 out. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
So Kehlani, that's in was in the other category. We'll put her over here. Ombre is a female, so we'll put her over there.
Okay.
Doja Cat.
Okay.
Yes and yes. She's my number 1. Go ahead and put her in seat 1.
I ironically don't listen to Doja Cat.
You know, I could go on and on about her. Like I'm telling you,
maybe I need to download
she
it.
will out rap if you give her the opportunity and the right track. She will out rap any female. She will out sing any female. Trust me. I watch
now or back then.
Well, I think she's on crack now, so I can't really go with the now. But like, I will say her album that she dropped, Planet Her. On everything, I co-sign that album. Okay. The whole thing, finish.
I'll download it. I'll download it.
Man, trust me. And she has a deluxe album where she released more songs. Just go to the deluxe.
I'll download it tonight and I'll listen to it tomorrow. And
you got to
I'll tell you. I got a 45-minute drive to Orangeburg and back. So when I finish it, I'll definitely let you know.
Oh, definitely let me know.
Bet.
Doja Cat, she's in my number 1 right now. And then I'm gonna add on to this real quick, and we're gonna move on to the last 2.
Okay.
Doja Cat's definitely number 1 because there's a lot of female rappers that we all listen to, and it sounds like they like barking at you, or like they yelling at you, or like they're like it's just annoying almost.
I know what you're talking about.
She does it in such a tasteful way where it's like I can actually listen to this and like it feels good. Like it's not like I feel like it's a different vibe.
Because I got a question to ask you because you gave me. I got a question to ask you after we finished. It's gonna be a good one.
Don't forget it.
Oh no, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not.
Okay, last 2. Oof. I'm gonna put an OG in there. Alicia Keys.
Ooh, okay.
She's still doing stuff now. Like even her writing camps and like artists that she's actually like mentoring. She's doing some great things. So definitely gonna go and put her in there. And then where's that last one?
You got one more.
It's because like I know who I want to say, but it's like, this will be more of an all-time reason why I picked him and not like right now. But I'm gonna go with Beyonce.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Beyonce because like her catalog is crazy. No,
Mhm.
she don't write all her stuff, but when you can do a movie musical and an album,
Mhm.
like a soundtrack, like come on, like she just has a lot of music out there and a lot of different things she's doing. I mean, even all of her artists that she signed, Lil Teacup and Chloe Halle Bailey, all these people she signed.
So my female artists are Erica Badu.
That's number one, yeah.
You saw I said number one.
And she's here in Dallas. Yeah.
No, there you said it. You saw I was number one. Lauryn Hill,
Yeah, of all time.
Lady of the Rage. Come on, see, you gotta. Come on, man. Come on, man. Lady of the Rage, Queen Latifah.
Of all time, yep.
My last one.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make this a good one.
I mean, you throwing OGs in there.
I like, but that comes to the question here, and it comes to my question, and a Missy Elliott, boom.
Oh, that's like the number one of all, like the number one.
Right, but mine fluctuate from like the number one. It goes from like Missy Elliott or Erykah Badu for me. It flip flops. It's one of the. See, I didn't give you an order, but I just told you those are my top five.
See, like I'm telling you, like my top five will be like they'll just be different. Like that's why I say it changes all the time because you can consider the OGs. They're like the right now.
But see, I don't listen to a lot of female rappers.
I don't.
But and here comes my question, because a lot of them they're like they like let's go with Meg Thee Stallion. I can't get down with Meg Thee Stallion. She starts rapping, I just do this.
I have never like, and that's like the most polite way that you can really say that. Like,
all right, I'm trying to be very polite because I'm trying to make this. Me and you are trying to get bigger, so we're trying to be very polite.
We want to be political. I'll say this. I when I listen to music, that's what's like has helped me cultivate the sound that I have now. I will say that is from a consumer standpoint, like just keeping that mindful of like, it's not really what's trendy right now or what's relevant. It's more of like, how can I say what I want to say the right way? Because the old people in my life always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can miss somebody. You might have a legitimate number one hit song because of what you're saying, but how you're saying it and the way you present it, hey friend, you're not really gonna see that light that you're supposed to go see. You know what I'm saying? It's a hit and miss. So for me, I just kept that in mind because I was like heavy boom bap. Like you could never outbar me. I knew every big word you could think of. I used to literally challenge myself. We used to have back in middle school and even elementary, they gave us vocabulary words, and we had to test it every Friday of those. And I would make a song titled each name of my spelling list. Ask my parents if they could co-sign all this. I used to come home and my dad, the name he gave me was Lil Tupac because I would always up. Like my dad had to leave for work at 5 and I was still up, and he could hear me over the garage, and he would text me. He's like, "Hey, Lil Tupac, I hear you like I'm just about to clock in. You clocking out?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I love that, and I actually love the answer too, because I didn't get to say what I wanted to say, but you answered the question. Like you knew where I was going.
Oh, no.
You knew where I was going, so I'm glad you said it. This has been fun. The last thing I want to ask you is, we heard music. We're gonna close out with another song, but before we go, what's in the future? What you got cooking up next? Is there any like albums, EPs, or tours, events? What we got going on next?
Absolutely. So, just a quick rundown. Just finished the Texas campaign tour. We're gonna do an East Coast tour, and we're gonna do it super big end of June. We'll be on the road for about a month, and so I'll have, if you follow me on social media, I'll have those flyers and all that stuff made up. the end of June, we're going on the East Coast tour, and it's gonna be really cool. So preparing for that. Like we were talking about earlier, I'm just kind of locking and loading in on visuals this year because I haven't been very active in the visual scene.
What do you mean by visuals?
Music videos.
Okay.
Just online content. Also, I have a website. People can actually go there. We have merch out. We've got when songs drop, they'll drop there first. We have exclusive stuff, like you can get memberships for stuff like that. We have a weekly newsletter. We got some crazy stuff that goes on there. Tickets, they'll drop there first for anything that I have, stuff like that. But it's www.k.LA and then the period co. So k.la.co.
Sounds good. So pretty much we got to get on that. It's, by the way, it's not one of them weeks websites. It's not one of them like that's a legit ass website. That website it's cold. It's dope. It's really dope. It's really dope. It's a really good website.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's go ahead and play one more song real quick.
Running out, in and out, yeah. Catch me if you can. I stay on the road with my hands inside my pants. Honey, you know it don't stop here. Gotta keep it up in my options. No, it don't stop here. Time I never spend it, don't drop it. Underdog, chilling with a boss, that's our bet. On the left, don't you overlook, that's your head. Slick talk, wait on me, might keep it wet. Keep it nasty, yeah. Don't you test me, yeah. All I see is all I say is green light, all I see is all I say is green light,
Now, my old ears heard something, and I know why you laughing, because you sampled I'm blue, da be dee body da, da be dee da be da, da be dee da. I'm like, wait. Whoa, yo. Whoa. So to close it out, let's make our faces bigger, because you gave me your top 5 artists, and you told me that you're a person of you in the music background, and another person was like, I thought I was tripping. We gotta know this. We gotta know this answer before we close out.
Y'all tapped in.
I'm telling you this. I don't listen to. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't listen to a lot of female artists besides the ones I named, and then Dua Lipa. No.
Oh.
I don't. Yeah, I do love Dua Lipa. Like my new artist, I do love Dua Lipa. And
yes.
And then what's her name? I've been listening to her a lot. She's with J. Cole. You know what I'm talking about.
Is she American?
She's her name is because they're calling her the next Erykah Badu. Ari Lennox.
Oh, Ari Lennox.
Ari Lennox. Yeah, Ari Lennox.
Those
are the new female artists I listen to, but because like the Cardi B's, I can't get with that. As soon as they say my put, I just go ahead and just take it off. Just take the headset off. But okay, to go to my question, because everybody's trying. We all want to know this.
Okay.
You live band. You told us the purpose of the live band. You told us about the purpose of your penship and everything and what. But why is it important for you to sample other songs? Because when an artist samples a song, if they do it right, I will fuck with them heavy.
Yep.
You have a fan now. So why is it important for you to sample sample a song back in the day?
Yeah, there's 2 reasons that come to mind for me personally. One is just to pay homage. These songs, like there's so much music that comes out every single day, and we all like. I have a new favorite song every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just listen to music all the time, but it's just those classic ones where you're just like, no one's doing it like this, and that's that moment where you can actually be like, no, seriously, no one's doing it like this. So like, just paying homage to classic moments in music history, and that's to this day probably still one of the most sampled songs.
Yes, it is.
Anywhere. So something like that, and then also I just goes back to diversification. I want to be able to always be an artist that the sound is just different because there's so many different things that are involved in the sound. You know, it's not just like one dimensional, but it's just like there's so much that makes the sound when you break down the sessions, which I also do. Like I have a series that I do on Instagram where I'll literally break down my sessions and explain why we did each and everything. You know, it's just moments like that make music. And so I'm any way I can. That's just the producer in me that hears something and is like, oh, this is like, we gotta make this happen. Let's just see what happens.
I like when Dua Lipa sampled "Not Your Woman."
Yeah.
For I was just listening to a song. I just listened, but when she sampled "Not Your Woman," and that dates back in the 90s, I was like, have like, you're always, if you do it right, you're gonna have me as a fan. Yeah, always.
I feel like that's what made me a fan of. I know people are gonna be like, but that's what made me a fan of Drake. Is him and 40 do a lot of sampling. Like they do. Sometimes they don't do it the right way.
No. That's why I like Ari Lennox, because she sampled Busta Rhymes and ODB Woo-Ha, and I was like fan down.
And the song was dope on top of that.
The song was fan. I was already fan.
That's all it takes for me.
That's all it takes. So now that I said Up was my favorite song, but now it's Yeah. So it's a tie. It's 1A 1B. You like yeah.
I'll take it. To me, that's like Yeah and Commas were my favorite song off the album, hands down.
It's a really good album, man. I'm gonna put guys, if you want to go listen to the rest of the album, definitely go check the link out. It's right here. You've got Apple Music, Spotify. Go ahead and shout out. You said what else you got it on?
Tidal, Pandora, Amazon. I mean, anything you listen to music, you can get it.
YouTube as well. So make sure y'all check that out. Well, appreciate you spending the last hour and 15 minutes rocking with your boy. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to add before we close out?
That is everything. Just get tapped in. There's a lot that we have going on.
All I see